Okay, so my presentation is on the power of team dynamics for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And before we get into the Steelers specifically, we're going to talk about groups and teams. So, groups are two or more individuals who are connected by and within relationships, and then teams are a type of group that has more structure and pursues collective goals through coordinated interactions. And so, assuming that the Steelers' collective goal is going to be a seventh Super Bowl win. So, cohesion is a dynamic process which is reflected in the tendency for a group to stick together and remain united in the pursuit of its instrumental objectives and or for the satisfaction of members' effective needs. And there's an individual component that attracts them to the group, and then there's a group level component that reflects the perception about the unitedness of the group. And the textbook discussed the four dimensions of cohesion, and so I have them listed below the four dimensions, and then to the right are going to be the specific examples of the team. So, number one is the individual's attraction to the group task. Steelers have been known for their steel curtain defense since the 1970s, and current players like TJ Watt aim to continue that legacy for more than just a contract. That steel curtain is kind of what they are known for since the 70s, and it's not just Steelers fans that know this, it's any team that plays against them, and it's expected of them. Number two, individuals' attraction to the group social. Steelers have a strong family mentality, whether that's the fan base, the team, or anything in between those two things. There are current concerns of locker room dynamics and certain personalities in the locker room that are going to clash or have been clashing. I know one of the players that they were worried about is no longer playing for the Steelers. That would be George Pickens. But then you have your new players who've been in the NFL for forever, like Aaron Rodgers, but are now entering this very well established locker room team mentality. And then we have the group integration task. And simply put, Steelers, their head coach Mike Tomlin says the standard is the standard. They have it on their locker room wall. We're going to do things the Steelers way. They have that group task of how they're going to do it. And then number four, group integration social. There's a big social aspect within the fan base, within the alumni, traditions, and they have had a long-term ownership by the same family for a very long time, the Rooneys. And so that also plays a part into that group integration social. Team building is also a very important part. The textbook definition is the method of helping the group to A, increase effectiveness, B, satisfy the needs of members, or C, improve work conditions. This season and the last couple seasons, the Steelers have been prioritizing team building. Again, their head coach, Mike Tomlin, he has prioritized having their training camp away from their main stadium as a way for the team to spend time together, whereas if they were at their home stadium, they would go to practice and then everyone would get in their car and leave. But as you see on the photo on the right, they're moving in like it's college dorms. So the quote specifically below that, we can't measure it, but we know when we're in that good space, that cohesion, that camaraderie. They also talked about a lot how like the picnics after, so it's on and off the field, it's not just the team building on the field that's important. And so that raises the question of, do players need to like each other? In this team specifically, again, Mike Tomlin, their head coach, has this long quote where he talks about he's had success where maybe the players don't necessarily like each other, but you can understand and respect each other when you know when they're coming from, and it's a process to do that. And some of the players are going to be in a leadership role for this team, and so learning about others and respecting them and understanding them helps them get ready for the season, but also getting their values aligned, and then they can kind of lead the group on those values. And so my favorite example of this, specific to the Pittsburgh Steelers, is this photo right here. Number 78, Villanueva, he taught number 19, the one who's on the ground, Juju Smith-Schuster, how to drive. So on a player playing football basis, you don't need to do that. Juju Smith-Schuster was riding his bike to and from practice, and then his bike got stolen outside the stadium, and so the team bought him a new bike, and then his teammates taught him how to drive. So having that relationship on and off the field is going to promote cohesion and group in and off the field. So the current pros I have for the Pittsburgh Steelers team dynamics, they have team veterans. So on the left, you have Chris Boswell, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt. Those are going to be their most important long-term veterans. They're going to lead defense and specials the way that they know it needs to be, the quote-unquote Steelers way. And then, like I mentioned in the previous slides, that individual attraction to group task and the group integration task and the group integration social. The beast of a fan base and alumni and ownership of the team, and even the Steelers for the last very long time. They've only had 3 coaches. The current coach has been the coach since 2007. Um, Having that routine and knowing what's expected of the team is a fantastic pro. And so that leads to the cons, where they don't have the cohesion, they don't have that established team on the offense. They have a brand new quarterback. Most of their offense is new. They signed people for offense after the training camp, where a lot of that group formation was supposed to be made. And that can make it a little bit difficult when the first time you're really playing together, other than practice, is in a game. You don't have that scrimmage time. You don't have that one-on-one time where you're building relationships inside and outside of the game. And then again, that individual attraction to the group social, um, developing a stronger locker room mentality compared to what it used to be to what it is, um, and just developing rapport to make an effective group is some things that they need to work on. And then those are my resources.